Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. I am opinionated. My wife will tell you that I'm very opinionated in things. And when I get a hold of something, I don't let it go. I text Game Time Brian and said, I'd love to have a debate with you about, we call it point counterpoint, where you take one side, I take the other, kind of like what they do, of course, on the talking shows, just without the screaming and yelling and all that, but try and take a side of an argument. The argument for me is the Cowboys understanding that they need to upgrade the number 2 wide receiver position. We can all agree with that. The thing is the Cowboys always end up doing these cheap solutions that aren't solutions. And we wonder why we can't win. We turn around and we say, oh, well, shit, Dak Prescott, he just sucks. When you give him Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson, Noah Brown, Jalen Tolbert, Brandon Cooks, and, guys that literally aren't top of the roster type of players. They're good players, but they're not difference makers. This literally blows my mind and is another one of these reasons why I hate you, Philadelphia Eagles. I hate you because Howie was a joke there for a while. Howie was a joke for the Eagles, but he learned, and he learned extremely well. He learned to literally leave us in the dust. What I'm going to tell you here should piss you off, because we always sit here and we listen to Jerry Jones, who says, it doesn't cost him any more waiting to get contracts done, that they would rather wait to get a contract done and to be sure that they weren't making a mistake. Because, of course, they didn't make a mistake with, like Jalen Smith or Michael Gallup, did they? They didn't make mistakes there, right? Here's the thing. The Eagles technically have set themselves up to say, we're going to be great for at least some years. We're going all in, and we are going to try and make this team as good as possible. We're going to get as many great players as we can on here, and we'll deal with the future in the future. And at first I used to look at that and say, well, it's a ticking time bomb. But in essence, it really isn't, because you're now seeing since COVID, the salary cap is just blowing up. Remember, the salary cap was at $189 million during the pandemic. It's at $275 now. It's gained $55 million just in the last 2 years. And there's things that are going to happen that are going to blow that up even more. One of the things I can tell you is the fact that YouTube now is the number 1 media platform putting out content. YouTube is. Followed by Disney. And then Fox Sports is in there someplace, and then Amazon, I think. But YouTube is growing in leaps and bounds. The digital space is growing like crazy, which is why the NFL in 29 is going to opt out of their television contract, because you can see more things that are going to be going to streaming. And they're not doing that because they, want to cut a deal that's better for the television. No, they're cutthroat. They're going to make every nickel that they can. And they're going to add another game to that. That's a 17th percent more, or not percent, a 17th share. So that's like what? About another 6% increase in revenue easily, on top of growing it to a world market. So these are things that you look at and say, for years from now, the salary cap easily could be $100 million more. In which case, if you look at it and say, I've got $35 million when the salary cap is approaching $400 million. Doesn't seem so bad. It doesn't. Let me show you how insane this is. I want you to look at this. My camera. Sorry, I'm not on here. But you don't need to see me. But here's the thing. When you look at the Eagles right now, keep in mind they have a lot more talent than we do. I want you to look at A.J. Brown, who's making $32 million a year. $32 million a year. His cap number is $17.5 million. Take a look at Devonte Smith. His cap number is $7.5 million. Look at Saquon Barkley. $6.6 million. Now understand what they've done is they've kept the numbers down low, they've added voidable years, and they kicked a lot of that money to the future. And the one that really should blow your mind is, take a look at Lane Johnson, who's at $18.4 million. Lane Johnson. Now, I want you to take a look at the Dallas Cowboys. And, mind you, Jalen Hurts' cap number is $21 million. Take a look at Dak Prescott's number. Compare that to 21 versus 50 million. Now, I know everybody's going to say, well, Dak Prescott, because he's got the biggest contract. It's only $7 million more a year than Jalen Hurts. That's still not $29 million difference. It's because the Cowboys waited. Take a look at Terrence Steele's number. Terrence Steele's cap number is almost the same as Lane Johnson's. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! What'll really piss you off, and the reason why I say the Cowboys need to swing for the fences, keep in mind A.J. Brown, who is a $32 million a year wide receiver, his cap number is structured out. And let's take a look at this. Keep in mind, they signed him last year along with Devonte Smith. Look at A.J. Brown's, the way it's structured. Now, you see up here, his contract value, the extension they put on there, $96 million, $32 million per year, with $51 million fully guaranteed. His cap number last year was $11 million. His cap number this year is 17. His cap number in 26 is 22. In 27, 22. In 28, it's 27. Keep in mind, we had Amari Cooper here in 21, and his cap number was $21 million. Do you see where I'm going here? 4 years ago, we were paying more per year on the cap than what the Eagles are paying right now for A.J. Brown. And the thing is when you cannot do the contracts correctly or on time, you pay more. So, Jerry, the fact that you've got Terrence Steele and Lane Johnson with the same number. Oh, and mind you, let me show you something else that should tick you off and makes the argument for me of why you need to go ahead and get yourself, instead of stopgap guys, go out and get yourself legitimate talent. Michael Gallup, we're paying dead money this year with him being now retired for a year and now on the Commanders, almost $9 million, in Brandon Cooks, $4 million. You put those two numbers together right there. That's $12.7 million. Let's go back to the Eagles. We're paying more money for Michael Gallup's dead money than the Eagles are paying on the cap to Devonte Smith. So, Jerry, Please explain to me how you're waiting to get contracts done and Stephen Jones doing those deals aren't costing you money. Clearly, when you take a look at this and say, Devonte Smith, two Devonte Smiths would cost the Eagles less than one Terrence Steele for the Cowboys. And we wonder why we don't win. Or how about we say this? How about we say this? The Eagles are paying about the same amount of money as the Cowboys are paying on dead money for Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup to have Devonte Smith and Saquon on their roster this year. Think about that. And if the Cowboys think that doing that is how you're going to win, it's not, people. It's not about, being them boys and podcasts and things like that. It's about there and having as much talent as possible. And instead of having to settle for, guys that are cheap because you screwed the pooch, it's about fixing those numbers and understanding that we've got to get these things right so we can get more players. And the way you do that is you don't wait until the 5th-year option to pay the guy. You do that early. You get Tyler Smith done now. You pay Tyler Smith while he's still cheap, the extension, and you're buying that now. You're buying him today, but paying him in cheaper dollars in the future. And I don't understand how people who are supposed to be good with money don't understand that. And until they do, you're going to have a hard time competing with an Eagle team that literally has their quarterback at his $21 million cap hit. Their, record-breaking running back at $6 million. They literally have their running back. Let's add it up. Devonte Smith and Saquon, that's $14 million, right? Jalen Hurts with the 21, that's $35 million. And $35 million. We can throw A.J. Brown in, 35. That'll be $53 million. $53 million. And we have Dak Prescott's cap number at 50. Dak Prescott at 50. The Eagles at 53 with A.J. Brown, Devonte Smith, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts. Yeah. It's literally that bad. Have a great day, people. I got to get out of here. In fact, I want to just go pound my head on the wall in disgust. Peace. Oh, wait, hold on. One more thing. If I were the Dallas Cowboys, there are still triggers that could be done. Okay? You could use the trigger for Terrence Steele. Take a look at this. You could still do the trigger for Terrence Steele and get yourself $9 million. The trigger on Diggs, if you believe he's the guy, and get almost $6 million. If you're keeping Donovan Wilson, you could get $2.5 million. Malik Hooker, another $2 million. You could restructure some contracts to get more money. And as a Cowboy fan, if the Cowboys decided and said, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to get DJ Moore. We're going to sign him and so on. We're going to go out. We're going to get a mean son bitch at defensive tackle. Okay? To help out on the defensive line. And we're going to go out and we're going to get a great tight end to go along with Jake Ferguson. And they said, and maybe one more player, that they went out and got 4 players and they said, listen, we got 3 years of time that we can work with these guys, that we're going all in. And after that, we're going to have to reset the clock. If they came to you and said that, and they went out and made bold moves to really take this to another level, would you be upset with that? Or would you say, okay, we're all in, and at some point we're going to have to start over? I'm betting that most Cowboy fans would be excited about that. I got to get out of here.
I can't stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here.
Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone. Everything's going to be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Yourself.
I've got to get out of here.